Welcome back to the We Are More Than Moms podcast. And today, the idea for this episode really came from a story I posted last night out of just deep frustration, which was posting Leo's dinner and just saying he basically didn't eat any of it, even though he said he's so hungry. And I'm just at a point where it's like the only thing he wants is mac and cheese, blueberry yogurt, and quesadilla. So do I just keep serving that? Or am I supposed to take the approach of no, keep introducing new foods, keep exposing them when I know it's not going to get eaten? And whenever we talk about food, we get a lot of DMs and a lot of frustrated toddler parents because a lot of us think we have these amazing eaters when they're babies. Oh, they eat anything. They eat the smashed up salmon with liver and broccoli and they love it. And then they turn into toddlers and we're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Because I see these moms on Instagram that are people judge me for only giving my kids organic and whole foods. And I'm like, no, I love that for you. But I could never be that mom because my kids, I've tried to be the mom that gives all the options and gives them all the healthy food, but it just stopped working at some point. So where do we go from here?
It's interesting you say that because the contrast of having a toddler and a baby is just insane. Exactly what you're talking about. My baby will eat anything, literally anything, all the healthy food, everything. And then my daughter makes the same plate for her that I do for him. And she'll have all the sweet potatoes and then nothing else. Sweet potato, please. She wants cheese. And it's organic cheese. So I got the organic from that woman on Instagram. But anyway, point is just I don't even know where to turn to. I don't actually waste the food because Griffin, my baby, will just eat all of her leftovers. But it is really hard to come up with all these meal ideas and giving them variety and whatnot for them to just not eat anything or just ask for cheese or yogurt. But one thing I've also been thinking about is that she's now eating, and Leo is too, they're eating lunch and snacks at school, which I think is making it a little worse, I would say, because at school they are eating pizza and quesadillas and mac and cheese. I know there's variety. There's still salmon and chicken, and actually is a pretty good school lunch program from what I know, gives them variety. But at the same time, she's eating a lot of that at school too. So now she expects to have it at home. And we're going to a lot of birthday parties or play dates lately, and they also have that. So I find it hard to be a mom in the midst of parenting in this little situation where I don't want to restrict. So I don't want her to think she can't have any of those things. Hence why I'm not going to be the mom at the birthday party who's no, you can't have the pizza. Here's your own cracker. But at the same time, at home, I still want to have some control over the home where it's a healthier place. But lately I've just been okay, here's your cheese. I don't know.
Yeah, I completely feel you because I've always been I'm not going to say this food is bad, not that food isn't. I'm so happy for him to have cake at the party, pizza, whatever. But I just want him to have exposure to all foods. But at what point I was do we say, okay, no, this is because I get fed two different pieces of advice. I get from the doctor who said, the pediatrician says, nope, you serve it. Toddlers won't starve themselves. This is what you get. If you're hungry later, this is what you get. If not, tomorrow, you can wait till the next meal. So there's that, holding strong. Or there's the camp of just feed him what he likes and keep feeding, knowing that he'll eat something, and don't force the food. It's just a phase, or why waste the food? He's not going to eat it anyway. So what is the balance of what do I serve versus what I know he's going to eat? So we know that toddlers aren't going to starve. They'll eventually eat. But for me, I think that I just am okay, he used to eat salmon. Now that's not even on the table anymore.
He used to love chicken. What happened to chicken? He used to love chicken. It's not a thing anymore. It's literally quesadillas and mac and cheese and blueberry yogurt. He had 4 blueberry yogurt pouches yesterday. So it's what is the balance of do we just keep exposing for no reason? So one person in the DMs wrote something, and I actually felt very comforted by it. She said, it's a phase. Hold strong on serving things you know he likes with new things. So I guess I'll always be serving quesadilla at dinner. He'll go back to trying things soon. This happened with both my kids. My son still fights us at every single dinner about what I've made. We don't give alternative options. That's a slippery slope. Okay, so I guess I'm a little confused because I'm you don't give alternative options, but you're giving, I guess, the option of having something he likes and the option of having something the family is eating.
but you're not doing anything outside of that. So that's what I'm going to keep trying is like, I'm going to have the mac and cheese or the quesadilla on the side of like the sweet potatoes, the rice, the veggies, the salmon, knowing that he has one safe food and he does not have to eat the rest.
The only thing I find that has worked is condiments.
I tried that.
So shout out to Primal Kitchens, ketchup, mayo, like ranch, Primal Kitchens. She like loves anything with that on top, but she has to pour it herself. Or if I pour it herself, it's not good anymore. And then the other thing that usually works is like when we have a family meal. So for example, my nanny makes food for the kids. And listen, it's not as seasoned because it's for Griffin as well. So it's not going to have like a ton of salt. But when we all have dinner, let's say we all order or I'll cook or like we're having a family meal, we're at a restaurant, whatever, and she'll eat our proteins. Like she'll love the salmon from my plate. Or like for breakfast, when I make myself eggs, she's obsessed with my eggs. But when I give her an egg, it's like, ew, like I don't want an egg. I want a muffin.
That is true.
So it's just like, I don't get it. But the only thing that I do know is that she loves eating from my and Aaron's plate. And that is usually like more seasoned and it's more like, I guess, adult food. So I feel like that usually works. Yeah. But other than that, I don't have that many solutions. I'm kind of like riding the phases you are.
And I think it's also important to remember that toddlers don't need like the protein and all that like we do. They actually need mostly carbs. So trying to like think of it that way. I also been really into Goodles, which is like the protein healthier version of mac and cheese, which is like, honestly, it's not bad. It tastes great and it has all the good ingredients. But I think like knowing that this is a phase, they're not like doomed, it's not getting worse. I have noticed ever since we were away for Christmas that Luke, my younger one, who's now 16 months, went from the phase of I'll eat anything you put in front of me to like getting a little picky. And like he's not fully like Leo at all, but there's a lot of things that like ugh and like spit out, whereas before he would eat it. So
yeah. So I also think the other little hack that I have is Gemma's obsessed with muffins, the concept of muffins, but she doesn't know what's in the muffins. And she likes to make the muffins and whatnot. So I'll just like jam pack that muffin with a ton of protein.
Wow.
Like whether eggs. Eggs, but yogurt, but cottage cheese is another big one I like to put into muffins. I even have this protein powder called Equip, and it's just 100% grass-fed beef. That's the only ingredient. So it's like pure grass-fed beef protein. And she loves like taking the scoop and like putting it in the muffins when we make. Another thing she loves is oatmeal. So again, I add yogurt and I add the scoop of Equip into the oatmeal. So I try to like find foods where I know like she loves and then try to like protein hack it a bit. I know they don't need a ton of protein, but I would love for her to eat some protein with her carbs.
Totally.
If possible.
For us, you know, we're exhausted at the end of the day. We're making dinner. We have like, and then we're like, oh, now you're not going to eat it. Like not even for 1 second.
Does your nanny cook for the kids?
She like we combine. Like I'll do things, she'll do things. Sometimes it depends. She'll like do some meal prep for them for sure. But like maybe if I do a big dinner for the family, like I'm cooking most of it. And I kind of go into the dinner knowing like I give them plates. I give myself a small, like a half of my portion or like whatever. Cause I know I'm just going to be eating theirs anyway. So I've come to learn that, but I think now going forward, I'm going to at least do one thing a meal, whether it's quesadilla or mac and cheese, always have it. And, you know, sometimes they surprise me. Like sometimes they do surprise me and like I'll pick up a broccoli and be like, ooh, like.
So interesting because I would love to be a fly on the wall at school because the teacher told me like she eats the broccoli and she eats like her plate at school. And maybe it's like the peer pressure of like other kids are doing it.
They also know they don't really have another option.
Yeah, but like at home, I put the broccoli there or like anything green and she's like, ooh, no. And like she gives it to Griffin and he just inhales it. Because she knows she has
a pantry she can walk into and get all these snacks or like go in the fridge. They always hide in the pantry.
I actually don't allow snacks at dinner time / after dinner. Like snacks are for snack time. They're not for dinner. If she's hungry for more dinner, it's usually like going in the fridge and getting like cheese. I'm not going to like say like whatever, she can have cheese. But I try to avoid the going into the pantry and getting snacks because that's not a dinner replacement.
So we've been in that habit a lot because they literally go in and do it themselves. And like, what am I supposed to do? Put them all out of reach? Like, I just kind of like, if they want pretzels, have pretzels. And I don't mind them eating the snacks. I just am more like I wanted to also have the dinner, but I know if
I actually don't have kids snacks. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so for those who don't know, my husband runs like a lot of different snack brands. So like, anyway, Pop Chips from the ground up, Food Should Taste Good, R.W. Garcia, Pop Secret, Sonoma. Like, we have a ton of snacks in our house.
Yeah,
a lot of snacks. But like, she calls them data snacks, and she knows that we have them on special occasions. So like, people are coming over for dinner, and we put some snacks out. She can have them, but she's not going into the pantry and taking those snacks out on a random Tuesday.
And you don't have other like kid snacks, like, and then once
Not really. I mean, I have like the Serenity Foods, like pouches and stuff, but that's mostly for Griffin, and I keep them up there for travel, so they're not at eye height for her. Although, you know, she climbs up the pantry. Her biggest thing that she loves in the pantry is the Beekeeper's Naturals vitamin spray. You know, people entice their kids
Leo
with
loves
different
medicine.
things, but like Gemma loves that immunity spray. It's good for you. So great. That's one way I actually get her in the car
And the
after
lollipops.
preschool. Lollipops I save for the flight. Those are a special treat for the flight because it helps with the ears. But anyway, so the pantry there's not much honestly in there for her in terms of like snack. We don't have a lot of like snack foods because I'm like, okay, you're hungry. Like, let me see what's in the fridge. Like, what can I make you? Why not? We have like some snacks to like, if we were to go somewhere in a car or a road trip, I'll like go buy things for the plane and whatnot. But like on a day-to-day basis, I feel like we don't have that many snacks.
We're such a
kids.
snack. You should see my pantry.
You see my pantry though. It's insane.
But your pantry has like your snack brands, and then it's like chia seeds and like things like
for cooking and baking.
My pantry is literally like like Once Upon a Farm, like the pinwheels, the yogurt rounds, the mini go macros, and I have all your snacks.
Yeah.
So I feel like, because I don't know, I have this like anxiety of like them going to the park. The first thing they do is ask for a snack. Like I get to the park, ask for a snack. I get in the car, ask for a snack. And like, if I don't have a snack, like I get anxiety, which is so funny because I don't think my parents are rolling around with a big bag of snacks for me growing up.
But you're also like that. You always have a snack in your bag for yourself.
I'm just like so worried. Like if they're the kids at the park, like don't have the snack. And like they fit it. It's an entire thing of Amara, like the Once Upon a Farm, like the pinwheel things.
But for me, it's like, okay, they want to have a snack at the park. I'll bring like a banana and a cheese stick. Like I don't have like actual
snacks.
So yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think it's like once you get used to something, it's different. I mean, we do have the Amara. That's one snack we definitely have because.
And then they fill up on and the pouches. So that's a huge thing. Is like the obsession with the pouches of like the yogurt pouches. It's insane.
I don't even think
I took Leo to the market. He gets out of the stroller, walks up himself. He goes, he got 2 boxes, and he goes, blue's for Leo, red is for Luke, and puts them in. Like they are obsessed with these pouches, but like they're yogurt, and like there are some that are 0 added sugar, which is good, but they go through and they'll come with 4 in a box. I'm like, what the hell? Like that my kids go through 2 boxes a day.
Spending a lot of money on yogurt pouches. Gotta get that sponsored.
I know. It's crazy. So you know what? I'm just like really holding on to the fact that this could be all just be a phase, and they'll eventually eat normal food, not just, or like foods other than 2 things.
It's interesting to see how it rubbed off on Luke a bit, because I'm starting to see that with Griffin now too. Like he'll like leave the egg and just wants like strawberries or like the fruit or the like better. I don't know.
Right.
But it's because of her, because she doesn't eat it.
I know.
It's so interesting how they learn.
I feel like a part of me feels like, I'm not going to say the word bad mom, but then I'm like, okay, I could just cook noodles and whatever. And because I know that's what they want anyway, or they're either going to eat that or nothing. Or like, it just makes me feel better mentally as a mom to have something else. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
I can't be the mom that just like every single meal. Like
it's
feel
part
like mentally,
of like us wanting to control.
Yeah. Mentally makes me feel like, okay, I did my duty. I cooked dinner. They didn't have to eat it, but at least did it. Like I checked it off that I made the healthy meal.
Yeah, because for me, I find at home, I feel like it's the only place I have somewhat of a control over what they eat, because the birthday parties at the restaurants, at the school, like it's all like.
Right. And there's so many of those that I'm like, the one time they're home, I may as well do something.
Right. So for me, it's like the only thing I feel like I control is like breakfast, and then like sometimes dinner if we're not out. And breakfast, my go-to is always like, I make the egg strips. By the way, she's not into egg strips anymore. but whatever. Now we're into muffins. So I've
Okay.
been making
Egg
the
muffins.
protein muffins.
That's
She
great.
actually doesn't like the egg muffins. Like she doesn't like the look of it if it's egg. It's so interesting how like they always have a preference about something.
Always. I mean, Leo had a meltdown 2 days ago that the watermelon was cold and he wants warm watermelon. I was like,
Wait,
okay.
that's funny because Gemma's obsessed these days with the microwave. So she needs to put everything in the microwave. So like her watermelon, she would put in the microwave, or like her cheese, she melts it on everything. It needs to always be warm and hot. But every day it's like a new thing. So just like hanging on to the fact that this is like a phase, it's temporary. She'll soon like the salmon again, the chicken, the whatever it is. She still thinks Leo loves chicken. I tell her that all the time. She never eats chicken though.
But what I did with this quesadilla was I took the rotisserie chicken and I shredded it up like to the point that it looked like white cheese. And I put that in the thing and he didn't notice it because usually he goes, ugh, and picks it out. But I did shred it in there and hide it a bit amongst layers of cheese.
I tried to get cauliflower to look like cheese. Did not work. All like my sneaky things, like the broccoli pesto for like the...
That used to work as a baby.
That used to work. Doesn't work anymore for Gemma. She smells right through the broccoli.
Yeah, they know. They can't with the fake. But I will say this shredded chicken, he didn't notice. It has to be very finely shredded.
So I think lately the one protein that's actually been working for us, not to sound really bougie, is steak.
No, steak, he likes meat. He actually does like it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about steak, but like she sees it and she automatically doesn't like toss it. Like she at least takes a pause.
I think also that too. And I'm like, I should probably do that more because I agree. The steak, which is like great for them, iron.
Yeah, iron.
And like when Nick orders from this place, he gets this like lamb thing. And like, because again, he was eating it. Leo was like, give me some, you know.
But it's also seasoned from these places.
Yeah.
I think kids like it more when it's seasoned.
I agree. I'm curious because he always likes my mom's cooking and she's coming back soon. So I'm curious to see like how strong-willed his preferences are with her food because it's really good and much better than my food. So I am curious to see like if he'll eat it then because for some reason last time when she was here, he ate everything she made and then nothing I made. So
what
it
if
could
you
just be a
put
testament to my own
yogurt
cooking.
on top of the chicken?
Yogurt on top of the chicken?
Well, he loves yogurt, right? Like I'm thinking for Gemma
I think
too.
though I should start layering cheese on top of like the...
At least cheese is protein.
Yeah. Cheese on top of the broccoli and things like that. And
yogurt
Parmesan
isn't
cheese.
bad. Like
No, yogurt's
protein.
great. But I'm like,
Speaking of food, by the way, so Griffin is 11 and a half months and I ran out of formula. So I just switched to milk. He was only on one bottle anyway. So I just switched to milk. And now he's just having his bottle of milk. He didn't even notice the difference.
No.
It's currently still in the bottle, but I'm going to change it to a sippy cup. But I know like our society in the US is very like obsessed with milk. Do you find that? Like,
so I actually didn't even do milk for
right.
Luke. I didn't do it.
So I'm like, how long? Because it's funny when you ask the doctor, they're like, they need to have this amount of like ounces of milk, whole milk and whatever. But really like if they're consuming cheese and yogurt a lot of the day, do they really need that?
So that's what I said to her. Actually, he rejected milk. Luke, after he was 1 year, I tried switching him to milk. And I actually wasn't super adamant about milk this time because I saw how Leo would get in a habit of like having it before bed and we had already brushed his teeth. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think that the milk is good, especially if they're not getting their calories in. But both my kids are big eaters and like, especially at that age. And Luke was eating so much and a lot of yogurt and a lot of healthy food that when I talked to my pediatrician, they're like, he does not need milk if he doesn't want it. Don't force it. And I have a little more thoughts on cow's milk, but I just don't know if it's 100% necessary if they're getting their nutrients in other ways. So I just didn't do it. He didn't like it and he eats yogurt and other things. So yeah.
What I do, I mean, it's only been 2 days. I take, because normally he had an 8-ounce bottle. So I'll take like 4 ounces of milk and I dilute it with 4 ounces of hot water so that it kind of makes it warm and it's like a diluted version of milk. I don't know.
That's smart. Same with the juice boxes to do that.
Yeah.
To dilute
and I also get that A2 milk, you know, like the A2.
Oh, yes.
Something to the fact that it's most similar to breast milk and I don't know what, but Why not just try this? Or making sure to get like grass-fed milk, easier to digest. But anyway, I'm not an expert on any of the milk stuff, but I do know that like that comes up a lot with moms of like wondering how much milk do they actually need to have. Because with Gemma, I had more bottles. Like I kept the milk for longer because again, like I felt like I had to. But I think really like leaning into like what you personally think, if your kid is getting enough nutrients from real food, then you don't need to always like listen to what is suggested for the mainstream of the world.
Yeah, and I also think that sometimes them consuming too much milk will make them less hungry for like real food.
Yeah.
But it is good if your kid isn't getting enough calories and they will drink milk, then definitely give them the milk. Like it's all very child dependent. And like if your kid isn't getting enough calories through food but likes milk, then like definitely give them the milk because that is a good option. But definitely also like talk to your pediatrician. But I think, yeah, it doesn't need to be as forced. Like formula, breast milk is necessary the first year. But after that, it's like, is whole milk necessary? Not for everyone.
Yeah. Do you ask the teachers, by the way, if Leo eats at school?
So at the first week, he was not eating and he would tell me. And then I kind of just gave up. But I can tell when he comes home and asks for food. But I can usually see it on my face and see what they've served. And I'll be like, okay, I know he did not eat this. But I don't really ask.
Yeah, I actually recently started to ask because
Yeah.
she's not eating much at home. So I wanted to know at school if she eats. And they were like, no, she has a great appetite. So I'm like, okay, so walk me through this. She's eating the salmon and the broccoli. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, huh. So like, who is she sitting next to that she wants to copy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because she's in that phase. But what I love about having a school lunch program is that everyone is eating the same thing. And then no one is like, one lunch is better than the other and the kid wants what that person
I
have.
completely agree.
I think it's
And
really healthy.
And it teaches them family style, how to eat, takes the pressure off our backs about packing a lunch or having a
100%.
lunch for them, but also just that they can see that other kids are eating and then they're more likely to maybe open up their palate.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about other kids eating that, then they start eating that. It's the same thing if like everyone was eating an ice cream, they want an ice cream, but if people
Totally.
are eating like, I don't know, I'm all for the peer pressure at this age, eating the right food.
So we're all for the hacks.
But if anyone has like good tips, hacks, please let us know. We're definitely not coming to this conversation as experts. We're just trying to go through it and navigate. But we did speak to a pediatrician on the podcast.
Yes, we did. So we're going to have his episode come soon and he has some tips too.
He has some
But
tips.
his whole mindset was kind of let them like, and I also would force him to sit there for 20 minutes till I was done my food. And he was like, let him be free. And that's why I decided, okay, I'm going to graduate from the high chair with him. I'm going to do the little table. And if he wants to eat and if he doesn't, like he can go play. And I think like there's so many rules in my mind sometimes about the way things should be that I feel like guilty or a bad mom if I don't follow these rules. But I'm like, you don't really need them. Like
I used to think too, like we all have to sit down together at the dinner table and like that equals happy family or that equals like, you know, quality time. But in reality, when you have two kids and like one of the toddler, almost the other one's a toddler too, it's not a reality. So yeah, she hasn't sat on a high chair in like 6 months, I would say. She sits on her own chair. And she eats what she wants and then she goes to play. And I used to fight it. And now I'm just like, go play as long as you wash your hands and you're not hands getting all over the couch. Sometimes she'll be like, Mommy, save me my food for later. And then she just never comes back for it. I don't know. I just wish I understood their minds.
Don't we all? Well, if you're going through this toddler eating journey, we're right there with you. We have not figured it out, but we're just getting through it one meal at a time.
Bye, guys.